Moving up the card, Rob Font versus Marlon Vera. I'm picking the dog. I'm picking Marlon Vera in this one straight up. I was picking Rob Font to start with, but the more I think about it, Rob Font took a lot of damage against Jose Aldo in his last fight that went 5 rounds. And that was only about 4 months ago, so I don't know how much would he have fully recovered from that fight. He definitely would have fully recovered, but the time that the training camp has spent, he probably only took about a month and a half off, really recovering from that fight completely. Prior to that though, Rob Font was in a pretty good win streak. He did beat Cody Garbrandt by a decision, which isn't the greatest look in the world in my opinion. Everyone else kind of seemed to be able to KO Cody Garbrandt without too much problems really. Marlon Vera though on the other hand on a win streak over Frankie Edgar in a fight which, yeah, let's be honest, he was losing the first couple of rounds, and I think it was 19-19 on 2 judges scorecards going into that third, and 20-18 Frankie Edgar on 1 judges scorecard going into the third. So it was a very important third round for Chito Vera, and he did end up getting the KO by front kick. He did beat Davey Grant, and Davey Grant's a very good striker. He went to a split decision with Adrian Yanez recently, lost to Jose Aldo, but he did beat Sean O'Malley, and I picked him to beat Sean O'Malley, guys. That's my claim to fame. I didn't have a YouTube channel at the time, but you gotta trust me, man. I picked Chito Vera to beat Sean O'Malley, and I did cash on that bet, and he was a pretty decent underdog on that night. But moving on, Rob Font, he's saying that he's gonna knock out Chito Vera. I don't think he's gonna knock out Chito Vera. Yeah, Rob Font, he couldn't knock out Cody Garbrandt over 5 rounds, and I don't think he's going to beat Chito Vera. My official prediction for this one, though, is that Rob Font's definitely going to win the first round. Marlon Vera seems to have been a pretty notoriously slow starter, but I feel like the guy that Marlon Vera is, he's got a very good all-round sort of skill set. He's very likable as well in his interviews. He's very funny, but he's got a good all-round skill set. Like, this guy can win the fight on the feet and on the ground. He's got a few decent submission wins on his career record as well. 8 wins by KO, 10 wins by submission. This is kind of what I mean, man. Very well-rounded skill set for him. On the other hand, Rob Font, though, recently, you know, he's kind of got that boxing background, but we haven't seen too many insane KO wins for him as of recent. 8 wins by KO, 4 by submission, 7 by submission. 7 by decision. This is mixed martial arts after all. He did KO Marlon Moraes in the first round, but unfortunately, man, that is Marlon Moraes. I'm picking Chito Vera to win the fight. I think he's going to lose the first round. He probably might even lose the second round because he's such a slow starter. But I'm going to be hoping that he does kind of pick it up towards the end. Rob Font will be looking to box Chito Vera. I feel like Chito Vera will be looking to use the kickboxing. He's going to chop away at the legs, which I feel like is a well-proven strategy to beat a guy that really is only looking to box. Is to chop away at the legs. I think that Chito Vera is going to be trying to do that early. He's going to chop away at the body as well over Rob Font. And towards the end, after he's beaten Rob Font up a little bit, I can see him starting to look for takedowns and looking for control time in a submission like that. I know the MMA Guru has picked a round 4 or 5 submission, and I know I'm just copying him with this pick, but I see it too. I do see a Marlon Vera submission in the later rounds. I'm going to be picking Marlon Vera by submission in the later round, but he's pretty low for a KO. But I feel like Font, he wants to knock out Chito Vera. Maybe he will be throwing a lot more power shots than he usually does, but he wasn't able to KO Cody Garbrandt. So I just don't really know what to think of that. I'm going to be picking Marlon Vera to win this fight inside the distance, KO or submission. More leaning the submission side actually.